Hey guys, welcome back to Aspirant Gaming. And, that's a pot car. But that didn't happen because GTA Roleplay, and I'm going to fix the vehicle because stupid cinematic cameras, which look so good in principle, aren't. We are back from Montana. This is obviously, as you can tell, Olivia. And the best way for me to tell you what happened in Montana is for her to tell someone. So, we're meeting up with Judy, Olivia's best friend, and she's going to regale her with a tale of what took place in Montana. And it should be a fairly interesting tale, because those of you who've not read Driftwood will be in for a surprise and in for a treat. And this means, with us back from Montana, that Olivia will be coming back to work. So all this week I will be running Leo, Liv will be back at work, and we get to have that fun whole deal as she works out what's going on. And deals with people coming back and realizing it's her. Right, let's get the roof brought up here.
Ah, what?
Hi!
Hi! Oh my god.
The castle
the
and shop.
hat.
Yeah, I got a new one when I was home. Hey! Hi, how are you?
Oh my god, I'm wonderful.
What do you
Okay, it's been a
think?
day. I love it. All of it. Hair,
I put this in the
bracelet,
car.
boots, jeans. Your ass looks great.
Yeah, that's the jeans, fully, trust me.
All of it. Big fan.
I got my hair cut before we went up to Bozeman. I wanted to be me. Or me, when I got there. Yeah. Let's take a walk. Figure the story is one that does deserve some...
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Hmm?
Let's do the pier. I will need a strong coffee for this.
Okay.
So, we flew up, like I mentioned. First thing I did was pick up that hat, because I lost my old one many years ago, and I never felt right without it. Like, I had my boots this whole time, but I never felt right without my hat. And you can't really fit in back at home without one. It's kind of necessary.
Oh, I see.
A couple
Okay.
$100, and we're sorted on that. Well, I told you I called my mom, and she agreed to meet me first, right? Before
Mm-hmm.
everybody else. Well,
Yeah.
there's this coffee shop, old place, called Wild Joe's. It's on Main Street in Bozeman, and it's... I've not seen that place in years, but... Oh, I met her there, I walked in, and she did not recognize me at first. Let's just say it was a
Okay.
surprise. A surprisingly well-received surprise, after she got over initial shock. Could have been a lot worse. She was okay, really. I was so afraid it'd be much worse than that. I really was, but I guess she really meant what she said. Me nearly dying and not telling them meant that they'd failed, and frankly, I think she was at a point where she just wanted me back. Caramel frappuccino, iced, yes,
Always.
on me.
Oh, thank you.
Do. Coffee. Oh, magic quick service.
I love their quick service out
I know,
here.
right? We'll grab a bench up here, see some nice views or something, maybe.
Oh, yes,
But,
absolutely.
no, she, like I said, she was surprisingly okay with everything. It was tough. It was an emotional conversation, but she was, in the end, I think she was just glad to have me back.
Aww.
She came back to the hotel. We were staying at the Hilton Gardens in Bozeman, and she came back to the hotel to meet Richard.
Mm-hmm.
She approved of him, I think. He was his normal gentlemanly self. Oh, thank God for him. I think without him, I don't know if I would have been brave enough to go. But, yeah, no. The next day, she picked me up from the hotel, and just me and her went back to the ranch. She decided she would prime the rest of the family before I got there, which was a good idea. So the night after I met her, she went home, she primed everybody. And in the morning she came up to town to pick me up and bring me home. Feels weird saying that, bring me home. But I did, and... God, it's enough about me, but what have you been up to? Been okay?
No. Finish. How'd it
Yeah.
go?
This is the one I need to sit down for, okay? So you'll forgive me a minute until we find somewhere to sit? Because
Okay,
this is
okay.
where it gets heavy.
Alright, oh god. I don't
Bench
know,
there,
let's...
on the front. That'll do.
Yes, that one right there.
Yep, that's perfect. Now, there was, I'm still here, so you could infer a lot from that. Is there one down there? I wonder.
I don't
Yes,
remember.
yes.
Oh, yes, that one then.
Perfect. Yes. And privacy.
Ooh, good bench.
Let's get a seat here. Damn, stupid thing. Stupid seats are difficult. Seats are hard. Perfect. Right, where was I? Okay. So, well, I got home and that was the hardest time getting out of a car in my life. Dad was at the door and he really seemed kind of neutral, disappointed. He's always been hard to read. Think disappointed patriarch, you know. Nothing's ever good enough for his legacy.
Okay.
Well, everybody else is in the living room. That's my sister Sarah, my brother Mark. They don't seem particularly impressed. No one does. Mom's on my side, and well, I start telling them. Mark is pretty much against everything from the start, and newsflash, Mark is super against everything. He's pretty offensive, pretty rude. My dad doesn't really get it, and he doesn't really understand. Eventually, Sarah cracks and, I guess, remembers the time we played as kids. She had the, you know, like how little girls would have the little Barbie dream house, or she had the little Barbie stables, right? And we always used to play together and groom the horses and look after them and tack them up, and we always played together so closely, and it was wonderful. Then we just seemed to separate when she got older and my parents started the whole tough love thing, but I think she remembered those times and how much fun we'd had together, and that I seemed like that person again, and she just broke, and she understood me, and she accepted me for everything. And then Dad kind of peer pressured into it, I guess. In the end, I think he saw. I don't think he fully believed, but I think he was willing to see it. Don't get me wrong, he's a pretty old school guy, but I think it's maybe because I look so much like Mom that, I guess it took me seeing Mom again to realise this, but I look so much like her. I think seeing how much I looked like her, it kind of forced his hand. He didn't have any other... He couldn't see me any other way. You know? Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was pretty raw, but Sarah took me into town to get away from them and let them have some space, you know? Unfortunately, that's where things went downhill dramatically. We went out to the Copper Whiskey Grill because Sarah wanted me to experience proper barbecue for the first time in 6 years. Not that I had been able to go into a bar back in Montana before I came here. I was too young. Well, we go into the Copper, and unfortunately, before we can barely sit down, 4 of the hands from the J, one of the ranches up the valley, end up in there giving her a hard time, right? Because she's my sister's a vet. She works with big animals, horses mostly. Equine veterinarian. She used to do some work over for the J. Well, the guys recognized her. They came over and they're giving her, you know, the usual crap that ranch hands do. And, you know, like, who's this? And she's like, my sister. And these guys are pretty drunk. And then they're like, you don't have a sister. You got 2 brothers. And then one of them recognizes me. Right after he's been trying to grope me several times and been deflected away several times, he recognizes me. And he gets real angry at, you know, his hitting on me and his hassling me and his harassing me is apparently entirely my fault. I tricked him by existing and being touched by him. Well, his hand ends up in a hold, and he gets upset, and then, well, the realization comes, doesn't it? Because, okay, long story short, he kept touching me and not getting his hands off me, so I put him in a hold. Well, that's when he realizes who I am, and that's when he kind of knocks me off balance. Short fight later, I end up having to basically kick him in the side of the knee as he charges past me like a dumb ox and break his knee. Pull my gun and my badge, and cops turn up, huge hassle. Well, he won't stop shouting about the freak that I am, of course, and the sergeant that's interviewing us kind of was like, oh, I guess I didn't remember wrongly about there being 2 Dalton girls. But it turns out his oldest kid's lesbian, so he was surprisingly great with me.
Good.
Well, my sister at this point thinks I can walk on water. Can't do anything wrong. Her badass sister, the cop, you know. There's me and the cop are pulling out my badge and gun and taking on 4 of the J's ranch hands.
Did you actually pull your badge out?
Yeah, I had to, because I just pulled a gun in a bar in a frickin' legal carry state. Of course I had to pull my badge out. Before I got frickin' shot.
God,
Got a round of applause for it, though. It was great, but I didn't really want exactly a high profile, Liv. Judy. I'm Liv, you're Judy. I didn't want a high profile, did I? I didn't exactly want to make a big scene. Because guess what? The entirety of the ranch's the J's hands know now, of course, and that means most people in the area know now, so that's out there. Well, she heads back, and the next day, Richard and I drive down to the ranch for dinner. Well, Richard gets to have the sit down with my dad. I got to catch up with Mrs. Swiftwater, the housekeeper. I hadn't seen her in years. Her sons, they work at our ranch, and they're wonderful guys. But she's always been very kind of like motherly with us, and she didn't miss a beat. She was straight away Miss Dalton, because she refuses to use our first names. Wonderful old lady.
I'm sorry. Back up a little bit. The conversation.
What Richard and my dad?
Conversation.
Well, I don't know much about it, but by the time I got back out with Sarah to call them in for dinner, they were both sharing a whiskey, laughing about the forestry service. So, from what I can gather, it went pretty well. Sarah was pissed off because her boyfriend's always got rigged over the coals, and it turns out Richie boy decided to charm my father into submission. I guess, you know, Velociraptor recognizes Velociraptor, right?
Apparently.
Apparently I'm to keep him because he's a good one, because he can give my father legal advice. Welcome to James Dalton, my father. If it benefits him, it's great. If it doesn't, it's not. Well, dinner's okay. Mark's not present, of course. He refuses to be. He stormed out the day before. He won't come back. Dinner's okay. It's a little awkward at first, but it's alright. And then later, Richard and I are out on the veranda just having coffee, and well, Mark comes home, doesn't he? And the sight of Richard with me is not something he wants to look at. He pops off, and him and Richard start fighting, and I try and intervene stupidly, and I catch an accidental elbow to the face. I get knocked the fuck out. By the time I come to, I'm in my mom's arms, and my brother is getting his ass tanned by my dad. where he is then subsequently dragged off to the barn for a private conversation. The kind that hurts.
God.
So yeah, the perfect evening got ruined by that mess. It is what it is, but no. I end up we the next day, well, my mom's convinces my dad to take me up to the lake. It's this little lake up in the mountains. It's where he proposed to her. And when Sarah turned 18, my dad took her up to the lake to get to know his adult daughter, you know, properly. To know who she was, hopes and dreams, that sort of thing. Well, Mom convinces Dad to take me up to the lake and to get to know me again. And we have a heart-to-heart, and I think for the first time, I really do get to know him. It's funny, he spent his entire childhood hoping that I would stand up to people and have a backbone and a spine and confidence and the presence of mind to defend myself and be a person that could be proud of. And it took me doing this to be that person, and I think he finally saw that Olivia was that person. I spent all that work trying to make a man out of me, and it turns out I wasn't one. But I'm a human now, a complete one, and we reached a understanding, I think, up there. It was special, dude. It really was.
Good.
Before we left, my mom gave me this necklace that her mom had given her, passed down to daughters. Sarah got her ring, Gran's ring, so I got the necklace. Originally it was going to go to a daughter if I had one, but now that I was another daughter, I got the necklace, and I got an hour's conversation with my mother of things I didn't want to know, but now I know. So that was good.
God.
I got the birds and the bees from a different angle.
Good.
I'm still scarred from things I learned, but I have, in fact, learned them. Mark aside, and speed bumps with my dad and Sarah, it went way better than I possibly thought it could have done. I have a family again. Like, I think they understand why it didn't work, and that I understand that whilst they wanted the best for me, and why it worked for Mark, it didn't work for me because it wasn't me. And I think they finally see that, and I understand what they intended, and that things go wrong, you know? But I arrived in Bozeman so apprehensive, so scared, so disconnected. And I left Bozeman sad. Sad that I was leaving, sad that I had to leave them behind. Sad that I'm gonna miss them. I can't wait till I see them again, because I have a family again, and it feels amazing. Sorry,
It's okay. It's okay.
I couldn't be happier, Judy. Come so far in 6 months. Hell, this year, you told me last year that I'd have reconciled with my family, that I'd be my true self, that I'd be in love with a wonderful man, that I would have a future, career, a life, love. I wouldn't have ever believed you. Or a best friend.
Oh. Ew.
I mean it.
I'm so so happy.
Just telling you all this just feels so cathartic to say it to somebody else and have it not be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a dream. I get my physical on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out if I get to go back to work. And then I get to deal with that, so... Yeah. Hopefully, all things, fingers crossed, I'll be back.
Good. It
And
hasn't
I only
been the
have to deal
same
with that
without you.
mountain. Huh?
I said it hasn't been the same without you.
No, and it's going to be weird being back because well... I'm not going to pretend it's all going to be plain sailing, am I? Because it's going to be... It'll be interesting, that's for sure. A lot to deal with, a lot of people to deal with, a lot of people to tell and to have understand what this is, so... I'm not going to pretend that it's all plain sailing from here. I've still got a lot to overcome, but... We're somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you've come so this far.
Yeah, but now everyone gets to realise exactly who's coming back to work. It's one thing that they can accept the weedy gay guy that got shot being, you know, a hero or whatever they want to call me. But realising that weedy gay guy is now not so weedy. Straight girl. It's a bit of a brain jump for a lot of them. And not all of them have enough of one to jump. I'm not fooling myself that it's going to be hard. Or that it will be straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I know is... You know, the current political climate, they run around saying, what is a woman? They say, oh, a woman is a period, a woman is a uterus, it's the ability to have babies. No. That's a uterus on legs. That's not a woman. A woman is my mom, is my sister, is women that make a family, women that take care of others, women that have careers and lives and people that care about them. It's women that are cops, it's women that are lawyers, it's women that are doctors, it's women that are veterinarians. It's women that are park rangers, it's women that are firefighters, it's women that are librarians and teachers and mothers. Bullshit is it a uterus with legs. And I'm not going to be afraid to say that that's what I am too.
Good.
I don't want to rock the boat. I just want a seat in the boat. That's all.
Good. There's plenty of seats.
Amen. God. I'm down to fight this fight. Let's do this. And you are coming to the range this week. And I am getting you over your hump, okay?
Oh, God. Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
The second I get back signed off, you and I go into the gun range, and I am going to stop you from being so afraid of guns. We're going to make a badass gunslinger out of you, okay, Judy Dredd? You're going to put your brother to shame, I promise.
Oh, God. That's a lofty goal.
Oh, I'm going to go and get some, I'm going to get some help, okay? We're going to get you used to it, okay? We'll get you over it. You'll be slinging guns like the best of them. You'll be the vet that frickin' slings a 9, okay? Or some other badass equivalent. Maybe we'll get you a revolver, okay?
A revolver?
Judy
Oh,
Dredd the
God.
cowgirl. Yeah, I can see it.
Cowgirl.
Yeah, I can see it. Fanning the hammer from the hip. Annie Oakley.
Oh. God. Listen, I will be happy if I can look at it without flinching.
Yeah. Look, dude. You might not be my sister by blood, but you're my sister by love. Thank you for always being here for me, okay?
Of course. I'll never not be here.
Thanks. Tell your lug of a brother I miss him.
Absolutely. I don't think he'll register the emotion, but I'll try.
No, but as long as there's, some sort of neurological response, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, God. Okay, I'll tell him. And tell Richard I said hi. And we're
I
having
will.
another movie night now that you're back.
Yes, we are. Mean Girls is good. We have to introduce you to 10 things.
Yes! Oh, God, I miss it on so much movie.
It's a classic. You will learn these classics, I promise. Okay?
God, I can't wait.
See you around.
See you. Drive safe. Kisses.
Mac plays Judy far too well. Well, that was the story of Montana. This is all what happened in the book Driftwood. This is one of those fixed events in time that basically makes up the story of Olivia Dalton. Now we're into kind of freeform territory because there's one big event in the book that hasn't come yet, which will most likely be the Christmas special this year. Other than that, we are in fresh territory. The book's events have largely taken place, apart from the return to work, which will happen and is pretty open to interpretation. Now we're in free territory. What will happen will happen. I don't know what's going to come next for Olivia. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.